Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we head over to Hull and a school looking to make a #1 hit, and we go to the shops to find out if you're ready for Christmas. And my guests tonight are Mark Elliott, a volunteer at the Grimsby and Cleethorpes Rucksack Project, and Dave Carlisle from Harbour Place.
North East Lincolnshire Council is urging residents to get involved with creating designs for Chantry Lane underpass as part of works to regenerate the area. The council, in partnership with Coughley, is redesigning and refurbishing the underpass. Community group Creative Start is holding drop-in sessions for people to submit their ideas.
The more soul you can give a place, the better, I feel, and we feel that art does that, and hopefully local people see that too.
The Mag Hall, they did their own art workshop about 10 years ago, did to another subway, because that was a pedestrian subway by Haycroft Avenue, and the artwork's still there and still remains to this day, and I think that's going to be happening here. From the workshop we'll see what people themselves want.
Women's Aid in North East Lincolnshire say they have been bowled over by the strength of support they've received. People have been donating toys and gifts so children and their mums can have a happy Christmas, with every child now having a sack full of toys to open on Christmas Day.
Every year people are really generous, helping us at Christmas time with presents for all the children that live here over Christmas and all the mums as well. A lot of people think that Christmas time in refuge is going to be sad, given that obviously they've had to leave their homes and come and live in refuge. But it's surprisingly happy, and we have lots of good times over Christmas, lots of generous supporters to make the women and the children's time happy.
A Grimsby woman's dreadlocks are getting the chop in the name of charity. Lorna Harvey has raised £250 for Bransby Horse Centre to help with an influx of donkeys. She tells us why the welfare charity is close to her heart.
It was such short notice. I only announced it maybe 3 or 4 days ago, but we're up to £250 so far. I'd like to get 500, but I'm not sure whether we will or not. They don't take any grants, they're not run by any funding at all, it's all by donations, and it's well worthwhile. We've had a big influx of donkeys recently, and they need a lot of shelters and things for in the fields, so that's what they're raising money for at the moment.
And East Yorkshire's Husky Group is recruiting four-legged friends and their owners. There are more than 1,700 members from branches across Yorkshire, with walks held weekly, ensuring fur-covered family members get to socialise and play with other huskies. The group is urging people to get in touch. And that's the latest from the news.
The Christmas #1 spot may be synonymous with some of the biggest names in the music industry, but can a group of school pupils from Hull top the charts? Erica caught up with them to find out how they created a record in record time.
3. Houston, 4. 20 seconds to LOS T-Dress. 4.
You got speed.
Roger, go for deploy. 4.
Could a group of youngsters from Hull take the music industry by storm? That's the hope of Archbishop Centimore Academy. They've teamed up with the non-profit record label New School Music to create a song with a big vision to raise money for charity while soaring to the Christmas #1 spot. The youngsters aged from 13 to 16 teamed together, from laying down the vocals and instruments to choreographing their very own music video, all of which they did in just 8 days.
I will make it better, I will lift you up, I'll hold it all together, 'cause through it all, we move as one.
Part of it was kind of showing what talents we had within the school and what we do have within Hull. The whole thing's just been amazing.
I think it's just been life-changing. It's definitely a kickstart to both of our careers. We've experienced things that not all kids in Hull get to experience, or in England really.
And their efforts didn't go unnoticed. They were even invited, along with producer Chris Cooper, to Abbey Road Studios in London for the final mastering of the track.
And it was completely different. Instead of having music in front of me, I was just doing it off was just improvising, doing what we thought would be good, and we just like sort of laid up lots of different tracks. So yeah, it was a very different experience to what I'm used to. I expressed what I wanted to in the track. Instead of having to say, right, you have to play this bit, I could just do whatever I wanted.
It was a struggle at first, but it felt like she can trust in me. She's got like faith that I can do this and I'll be able to produce a good piece. And it felt a good opportunity to be asked to do this. I am just like delighted of the outcome, what I've done.
And film and media teacher Carly Ager says it's about giving youngsters the chance to apply skills outside of a classroom setting.
A lot of what we do in school is emulating real life, and that's what it is. It's just an emulation. We wanted to give these kids an experience which was real world relatable. Yeah. Incredibly proud, beyond proud. They work so hard and they deserve some success with this. They really, really do.
While New School Music is hoping to roll this model out across other schools, it seems these kids are simply over the moon that they get to be part of something special. Erica Barker, Estuary TV.
We have many homeless people still in our towns and cities, sadly, but happily there are many organisations to help them. The Rucksack Project is one. It's a worldwide movement to help those sleeping rough on the streets during the winter months. To explain more, local volunteer Mark Elliott and Dave Carlisle from Harbour Place in Grimsby, which caters for these vulnerable members of society. Gentlemen, thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Mark, just to tell me, what is it that the Rucksack Project does?
We take out rucksacks, obviously, which are full of sleeping bags, warm clothing, say a hat, scarves, gloves, toiletries, which are vitally important to keep the dignity of these people. Okay, probably a torch or something like that.
Well, you've brought one of the rucksacks along. Yes. Well, have a look at a few of the things that are inside. We've got, just at the top here, we've got, yes, torch. Entry into a stately home? National Trust?
No, it's a keep warm.
Right. It's a
fleece bag.
A fleece bag, okay.
Yes.
Little first aid kit, soap, as you said. A torch is very important because it's frightening out on the streets at night. Mm-hmm. Emergency shelter?
Yes. Tents we sometimes use as well. It's not strictly the legal, but it's just to keep.
It's better than dying of hypothermia.
It is, yeah.
Okay. And in the sort of main part of the rucksack, warm clothes.
Warm clothes. Sleeping bags are always welcome.
A towel and things like that.
Towel, something like that. Probably a pair of boots even.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Anything to keep the chill out.
It's not a comfortable lifestyle, but at least it keeps you from real danger of being outside in the winter.
Until we can get these people into accommodation. It's the first emergency, and it's entirely voluntarily run. We don't accept cash donations, and it was started in 2009 by a guy called Matthew. He went out Christmas shopping and said, noticed a few rough sleepers, and he thought, I've got £12 in my pocket, did I go out and buy some tat? Or do I go out and buy a rucksack? So he went across to the YMCA, spent the £12 on bits and pieces, went home, picked out a few tins he had with ring pulls, went back, and the effect was amazing. And you can catch up with the project on rucksack.org, and there's a little film on there that you can watch, and you can get involved in that way. And we've got the local rucksack, Grimsby and Cleethorpes rucksack project.
And Dave, I guess that's the other end of the process, as it were, is when people are trying to get accommodation or at least be sleeping indoors for a night or so. That's where you come in.
It is. Last year, the rucksack project contacted Harbour Place to see if we could do with any rucksacks and any other sleeping aids for people on the street. We were quite grateful for those because at that time we had very few. We have 2 outreach workers at Harbour Place now. At one point we never used to have any, but we now have 2 who work continually on the streets, getting people into accommodation. For those who can't get into accommodation, for whatever reason that might be, things like this are really, really vital to us. So we're eternally grateful for that. It is a big help to us, and the rucksacks that's collected at Christmas by this organisation does really help us throughout the year. It's tremendously helpful. So not just for people who are sleeping rough on the streets, but also for people who may be sofa surfing, stopping at a friend's house who don't have a bed. Some of the houses are often colder than they are on the streets, and so very often they'll come to us and ask to take a sleeping bag.
Just a sleeping bag and a toothbrush makes an enormous amount of difference, I guess.
It does. Yeah, if you can imagine yourself what it's like to sleep on the street. We experience it most years. We have the Sleep Easy project run through the YMCA, which Harbour Place supports, and which we'll be doing again in January. That gives you some idea, but not the real feel for it.
Not if you know that tomorrow you can go back to your own bed. That's not the same sensation at all. Okay, gentlemen, we'll talk about that a little bit more after the break, and we'll come back to that. Join me then when we find out if the people of North East Lincolnshire are ready for Christmas, whoever is, and we'll bring you all the latest local sports news. Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. Still to come, we find out if the people of North East Lincolnshire are ready for Christmas, and we'll have all the latest local sports news. Still with me in the studio are Mark Elliott and Dave Carlisle, talking about the Rucksack project to provide some sort of comfort for people sleeping rough. Dave, how big a problem is it? How many people are there?
The official count or estimate that North East Lincolnshire Council, along with the other homeless agencies, found just recently, was roughly between 6 and 8, but that's on one particular night, and that's only the people we knew at that time who were sleeping rough. That figure goes up and down throughout the year, but there is always a constant figure of number of people who are sleeping rough.
But there's the rough sleeping, but there's also people who are homeless.
Yeah.
Not necessarily sleeping on the streets, but still without a bed they can call their own.
Yeah, there are a large number of sort of hidden homeless people who are stopping at friends' houses, people who are probably stuck in relationships that can't get out of the relationships and move on because they've got nowhere to live. That is quite a large number, and the majority of people who come into Harbour Place will have been sofa surfers or are sofa surfers. Harbour Place has about 50 people a day on average coming into the day centre, all who will have been at one time or another homeless. And in fact, last year, 2014, it's the first time that we've had more homeless and people in temporary accommodation as new clients than people who have some sort of stable accommodation.
Mark, the Rucksack project seems like such a brilliant idea. How's it been going? What's been coming in?
We managed to fill close on 300 rucksacks for distribution, and those are going out as we speak to various organisations. We do have a sister organisation called Still Human, which is out on the East Coast, so the East Coast community of Lincolnshire as well. So they're recipients as well. We're also hoping to get a rucksack project into Lincoln as well. Hull has its own, Scunthorpe has its own. So it's just a case of linking up to different organisations such as YMCA, Harbour Place, and any other organisations who would like to get in touch. And we'd also like to make contact with businesses who could probably make a contribution, but not cash, please.
No, not cash, because you're not a registered charity, and so there's a sort of legal distinction there as well.
Yes, we're an organisation, purely voluntary organisation. The volunteers, probably in the tens, but we've got more and more coming along. And if anyone wants to volunteer, get in touch with Roger Bentley through the Grimsby and Cleethorpes rucksack organisation.
Okay.
Roger is the one who set it up, and he's an absolute dynamo.
All right. And if people do want to volunteer, what can they expect to be doing? Very, very quickly, I'm afraid.
Fill rucksacks, you know. If you can get a few things together in the supermarket, it's not going to cost a lot.
No, and get them distributed.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you both so very much for coming in.
Thank you.
There's just over a fortnight to go until Christmas, and with only 2 more weekends left, the high streets will no doubt be heaving with shoppers. Are you ready for Christmas? We asked the people shopping in North East Lincolnshire.
I haven't even started. No.
I'm getting some each week, so I'm on my way now.
I have, and I'm going to my daughter's for Christmas, so I've got no preparing to do.
Nearly. Just going through the last few bits.
Yeah, all organised.
No, haven't started. That's it.
Joining me as usual for a daily look at the news, Erica Barker. Erica, what have you got?
I'm going to start off then. Humberside Police are currently trying to locate a missing 20-year-old Hull man. This is Jason Norfolk. Jason was reported missing at 3:37 p.m. on Sunday, December the 6th, after being last seen by friends in the early hours of the same day in Hull City Centre following a night out. CCTV inquiries identified Jason walking along Liberty Lane towards the direction of the High Street at 1:16 a.m. Now, he's described as white, 5 foot 8 inches tall with a slight build and has mousy coloured short hair, but his hair was sprayed silver for the night. He was last seen wearing a fancy dress outfit, including a blue blazer with the British Paralympics 1992 on the breast pocket. So everyone is very, very concerned, very worried, and anyone with any information is being urged to contact Humberside Police.
Excellent. OK, let's hope he's found.
That brings me on to another appeal. 12 months after the unexplained disappearance of a Bridlington man, this is Damien Vernon. An appeal is being made for anyone who knows what happened to him to come forward. Officers investigating the case completed all lines of inquiry in June 2015, and since that time nothing new has materialised. Now, on the anniversary of Damien's disappearance, a senior investigating officer in the case has issued an appeal for anyone who knows anything about Damien to come forward. Damien from Headlands Close, Bridlington, was 32 years old when he was last seen, and he was reported missing at around 5:30 on Tuesday, December the 9th. Last year, having been last seen the previous day, he's reported to have travelled to Wakefield on Monday the 8th of December in a blue Vauxhall Corsa. So with that one as well, anyone with any information to contact the police.
And if they're still investigating a year on, I guess that means there's hope.
Yes, yes. I'm going to move on to the next story then within the Grimsby Telegraph. Now, the amount of money being made by North East Lincolnshire Council from parking charges and fines has dropped by nearly half in a year. So in 2013-14 it was 949,000. For 2014-15 figures it was 527,000.
Does that imply that the people of North East Lincolnshire are parking much more carefully and legally now?
Well, the Grimsby Telegraph are saying that they have looked into this, and there are a number of parking meters that haven't been working, that the council has been trying to fix 12 broken parking machines out of 54 in Grimsby and Cleethorpes, and work is still ongoing with that, I think. And these figures are from the RAC Foundation's annual reports into local authority income from parking.
Can 12 broken parking meters account for hundreds of thousands of pounds of uncollected parking tolls?
Who knows? Who knows if people are choosing to park in other places, or if that is a contributing factor. I don't know, but the amount of money they are making is going down.
OK. What's next?
So residents speak of shock after large-scale disturbance and 3-hour standoff with police, leading to 4 people being arrested in Grimsby. This is within the Grimsby Telegraph. A 22-year-old man suffered what has been described by police as nasty facial injuries in the incident. Now, detectives from Humberside Police are appealing for witnesses following the disturbance outside the Jubilee Inn in St Nicholas Drive near Rybers Way. God, that's a mouthful for me. At around 11:30 p.m. on Sunday night. The disturbance is believed to have involved 3 men and 2 women, and the Grimsby Telegraph understands that the police were called by staff at the pub after an initial altercation escalated. So once again, anyone with any information on that one to come forward.
Okay, the Humberside Police have been having a busy old time recently, haven't they?
They have indeed. This is an awful story.
Very, very quick, Erica.
Okay, so vandals trash a classroom and Christmas gifts at Belfield Primary School in Hull.
Horrible.
Smashing up a classroom, boxes filled with Christmas things, everything.
Erica, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Time now for the sports news.
Grimsby Town and Shrewsbury Town will have to try again to find a winner after their FA Cup second round tie at Blundell Park ended goalless. Padraig Amund and Connor Townsend both hit the bar, but try as they might, the hosts could not force a breakthrough, and they now face a replay in Shropshire next week. The Tigers have been drawn at home to Championship leaders Brighton and Hove Albion in the third round of the Emirates FA Cup. The tie will be played over the weekend of the 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th of January. Elsewhere, Scunthorpe United return to home Glanford Park League action when they host Sheffield United on Saturday, December the 19th. And in rugby, and Hull Kingston Rovers have confirmed the club squad numbers for the 2016 campaign. There's some change in the back line where Ken Seo has been awarded the number 1 shirt following an impressive run of performances in the full back position towards the end of last season. Player of the Year Kieran Dixon switching to number 5. And Lee Ranford has told the Hull Daily Mail he's determined to perform to a higher standard when the going gets tough in the upcoming Super League season. Hard at work in pre-season training, the Hull boss has identified his side's ability to crumble under duress and fatigue this year as a clear weakness that needs to be wiped out. Until next time, goodbye.
That's it for tonight. If you have a news story for us, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, details on the screen, or email news@estuary.tv, or telephone Grimsby 01472 315553. Until tomorrow, good evening.
I want to see Grimsby put on the map.
Extraordinary qualities, unmatched in anywhere else in Britain.
We need to act with one voice.
I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
More police officer hours spent on patrol preventing crimes from happening.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Rix Petroleum, your local family-owned heating oil supplier this winter.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Wednesday, heavy rain at times, but some parts staying dry. A cold start with high winds and a maximum temperature of 11 degrees. The rain clearing for Thursday morning, then brighter but colder with wintry showers.
Rix, servicing the region's oil boilers this winter from a name you can trust. Get in touch at rix.co.uk or call us on 01482 838383.